welcome to Pitch Report. I'm Mario.
And I'm Amilcar.
And in today's episode, we're covering the Champions League round of 16 draw. We're also going to talk about a rumor about San Diego FC. It's good news. And a match preview. But before we get started, we just wanted to give everyone a thank you for the warm reception they've given our first few episodes in this new relaunch. We have officially hit 1,000 downloads.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop. So thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess let's jump into kind of what we're going to be talking about. So obviously the Champions League round of 16, like we said, the draw happened on Friday. So we have some pretty crazy matchups. They basically set up the bracket for the rest of the competition, which is new because before they used to do draws in the 16, draws in the quarters, and then the bracket was set up. So we have some pretty interesting matches. So what do you think? What's your biggest match that you're looking at, Mario?
Ooh, biggest match. There's two that I'm looking at. One is just by name value. I think the PSG Liverpool one is a pretty interesting match. And then I'm also looking at what do they call the Madrid Classic, like Clásico de Madrid?
The Derby?
Yeah, I guess the Derby, yeah. But is there a word for it like in Spain?
No.
El Derby?
Yeah, El Derby. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that one's going to be good. I'm obviously, as a Real Madrid fan, I'm very excited about that one. I think that's probably like one of the hardest matches that we could have had. And I know we had predicted previously when you had asked me like who I wanted was either I think it was either Leverkusen or Athletic. I was like Leverkusen for sure. So we definitely got stuck on that one. It's just going to be a dogfight for sure. So I'm really excited for that match. I also I'm really excited for like a couple other ones. The Bayern Munich and the Leverkusen one I think is going to be really good because Leverkusen kind of came out of nowhere with their with Xabi Alonso, and last year they won the Bundesliga. This year
they dominated the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I think they didn't lose any matches. Yeah. I think, and this year they're in second place, but they're still kind of fighting, week in week out with Bayern. So having another set of matches there is going to be kind of something really cool to see. And the last one, just based off of historics, I think the Barcelona-Benfica match is going to be fun because they played each other in the league stage, and I think it ended up being 5-4 was the final, but Barcelona was down 3-0, I think, at the half, and they came back and won it 5-4. So that one's going to just be a lot of goals, and I think it's going to be super competitive because of that.
Yeah, and the Benfica game against Monaco was also like a pretty high-scoring affair. In regards to the, I guess, matchups, I kind of got my wish when we were talking about the potential for Barcelona. They got Benfica, who I was preferring over. I'm forgetting who the other option was at the time, but I'm glad they ended up.
It was PSG.
Oh, it was PSG. Yeah, okay, there you go. So then Barcelona, I'm pretty happy on that one. I agree with the dogfight for Real Madrid and Atletico. Like they're like 1 point away right now in La Liga.
Mm-hmm.
Barcelona too. All three of them, like it's anyone's league right now. So the Spanish teams are looking pretty good. And on that note, we could maybe break down I just like to look at the geography, and we have 3 Spanish teams, 3 English teams, 3 German teams, 2 French teams, 2 Dutch teams, 1 Italian, 1 Portuguese, and 1 Belgian?
Yeah, Belgian, yeah. Club Brugge.
Yeah. So I think it's a pretty good indicator of the, I guess, top 5 leagues, with maybe the Italian side not really living up to their name, but because I think they're ranked number 3 in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the Italian side that we talked about last episode was kind of a surprise. I mean, Atalanta and Milan, they were all surprises that they didn't get in. So, I think, but I agree with you. I think obviously the Spanish, English, and German having that many teams is something that was to be expected. Something unique also about this round of 16 that hasn't been in the past. In the round of 16, you had basically country protection, so you couldn't play against someone else that was from your league or your country. But here, there's 2 Spanish teams that are gonna knock each other out. 2 of the German teams are gonna knock each other out. So it's something that's never happened before.
Yeah, and on that note too, it's also you could call it the eco-friendly round of 16 in terms of carbon emissions. I mean, Atletico and Real, they don't have to travel. Bayern and Leverkusen, they could take a train to each other. And then Feyenoord, I don't know if they're just staying there from the AC Milan game or now they're playing literally in the same stadium. So I'm sure they went back home, but not a lot of travel needed between the teams.
Yeah, that I guess will be a good part for the teams that are in these tough matches, because also like the teams that you mentioned, like Real Madrid, Atletico, Leverkusen, and Bayern, they're like pretty tough matchups.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be nice to have that extra little bit of rest. And I guess on that token, something that's also kind of wanted to get your opinion on. I saw like for the Bayern or the Barcelona Benfica game, like the Portuguese league basically pushed back Benfica's game to give them like a full week's rest before Barcelona, but Barcelona has a game like 2 days before. So like, so interesting, like that the leagues are really trying to push for their own teams to like win the Champions League and like really moving things around to try to get them to kind of win.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the only team representing them, I think that, more power to them, I would say. They're trying to be the first team since 2003's Porto to win it. So
And that was Mourinho's.
that
Porto,
was
right?
Mourinho's. Yeah, that was one of my favorite like Champions League teams, just because it was like such an underdog story. But honestly, I'm for it. I think it's kind of cool. Like, sure, like why not? Like,
Yeah, and I guess in terms of the Spanish league, like Real Madrid and Atletico, like Real Madrid basically was going to have 2 days rest and Atletico was going to have 3, but they switched Real Madrid's game 1 day back. So now they both have the same exact amount of rest. But Barcelona kind of got screwed because their game got pushed up. So instead of having 3 days rest for Benfica, now they have 2 days rest. So
oh wow.
So yeah, so that's pretty interesting in that regard.
Oh wow, yeah.
Maybe they have no respect for Benfica. Maybe they're like, "Oh no, Barcelona, you got this. Like, you don't need that much rest. You'll be fine."
Yeah, like come on, you can take it.
Yeah, so that's just kind of crazy, like that the leagues are kind of trying to like manipulate as much as they can to have more of their teams represented.
And on that note too, so these rounds are going to be played on April 8th through 9th for the first round, and then the second leg a week later, April 15th through 16th. That's about 2 months away from now, so it will also depend on like how each team is doing on their respective league as well. At that point, some teams, if they're out of like the potential like league titles or any other like domestic tournaments they're playing, they might have a better opportunity to like rest players leading up to these games. But if Real Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona, if they're still pretty tight, like that's gonna like maybe take not a toll, but it's gonna be just an extra challenge that they have to like consider, especially if they're not playing like against other Spanish teams, for example. Like maybe Liverpool by April has really just locked like the Premier League championship, and they might already like have it in the bag for like for all intents and purposes. Or maybe Arsenal is so far out of it at that point from like the Premier League championship that they're also just trying to, as long as they stay top 4, qualify for Champions League next year, they're just focusing on winning this year.
Yeah, not to be a fact checker or anything, but they actually play March 4th. So you got to check your sources,
okay,
Mario.
Thank you. And just scratch everything I just said. Okay, what happened is when I was reading the article, it said quarterfinals, so I got confused.
Oh, okay. I was listening to you, and then I was like, hold on, I'm pretty sure they play in like a couple weeks, because like I usually like block off my calendar. Employer, hopefully you're not listening, but like I block off my calendar, like for the 2 hours that the games are going to be. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I blocked it out in like a couple weeks. So I thought they also were going to have like a month off, but it's really just a couple of weeks, and then they'll get, I guess, a month after for the quarters, pretty much.
Yeah, so you're right. Thank you for that. It's actually March 4th and 5th, and then March 11th and 12th.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, it's coming up quick, and that's why I think they moved a lot of the fixtures around. But, I mean, who do you think, I guess, got the most favorable matchup?
Oh, there's definitely Barcelona got a pretty good matchup, because the way it's seeded, like the top like 1 and 2 seeds cannot play each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like Liverpool, Barcelona. So there's one table, like before in the past, the groups were redrawn after round of 16 and then redrawn again in the semifinal, correct?
I think the quarters
that was the last one?
Yeah, they drew again the quarters, and then it was already, you kind of knew who you were going to play.
So at this point, you would still be redrawn if you won this game. But now, like the rest of like the road to the final, you can map it out. Like, you know who you would play. And definitely the Barcelona side, I think, got the better draw because you're looking at Barcelona, Benfica, Lille, Dortmund, Bayern Leverkusen, Feyenoord, and Inter Milan. All good teams still, but in another one, you're looking at PSG, Liverpool, Club Brugge, Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and Atletico. So I think I guess if you're looking at the graphic on ESPN, it's the top one. I would say got the harder draw.
Yeah, I think when you look at that, it's definitely probably one of the harder matchups for like my side, like Real Madrid, and then Barcelona definitely probably has one of the easier sides. But I guess speaking of the bracket style, like how do you like the bracket style, kind of knowing that you have a path already versus like the unknown of you kind of just know who you're playing now, and then it's going to redraw, so you have no idea what the next one's going to look like.
Overall, I like it. I've been a fan of the new format. It's the first time, so as we go through it, maybe my opinion will change. But I like it because in the past you would have like a matchup where maybe it's like Benfica Barcelona, and Benfica beats Barcelona, and then they get redrawn to like arguably another tough team like a Liverpool, and you're like, what was the point of that? You know, it just felt like a little unfair, I guess. So I like it.
Yeah, I think it puts more weight towards that like league play, and I think that's what they were trying to do to make it people care about it more.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, if you're 1 or 2 seed, you're not going to play some of the quote unquote harder teams. I guess it just doesn't really work out when you end up like having some of the quote unquote really good teams end up falling down a little bit in the bracket. So then you end up playing them like you have, PSG, Liverpool, and then Real Madrid, Atletico, which technically shouldn't happen if those teams would have done what they were supposed to do, right?
Yeah, or even earlier when like Madrid had to play Man City in like the playoff round just to make it this far. That was like a big heavyweight matchup that you probably would have expected like in the round of 16, if not further.
Yeah, and I guess the cool part is that you can start kind of projecting, and from now people can already start kind of making their brackets a la like March Madness, start doing that. Where before it was like, oh, well, you can just look at this game and you can't really see anything further. So I think that there's definitely give and take. I think it's almost like Americanizing, for lack of better words, because I think in America we do brackets for everything. Like everything has a bracket.
Yes, that's true.
And that this is like the last thing that didn't have one, so it kind of just went to that. Which I mean, I don't mind too much, but. It's got its positives and negatives. I thought it was interesting that Club Brugge and Aston Villa got matched up against each other because I thought they were generally like probably two of the weaker sides.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you wish you had like Liverpool against Aston Villa and like Real Madrid against Bruges. To have some of the better teams stay to the end. But I think it'll definitely pay off for viewership for sure.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll stick to my guns earlier that Club Brugge is going to be like a Cinderella story. I think they will beat Aston Villa. And if somehow PSG makes it through against Liverpool, I think they have a chance at beating PSG as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I could see them in the semifinal.
That would be really, really wild. So, I mean, hey, there you go. Hey, heard it here first. Again, another thing that we think is going to happen. So you can call us out here in another, 2 weeks? Call us off on our terrible takes.
Well, hey, we don't know the terrible yet. What would be like your underdog prediction?
Underdog prediction? Okay, so yours is Club Brugge, kind of going through. I'm probably it's tough. Like last time you called me out on calling Arsenal an underdog, so I probably need to really think about this one a little bit better this time. I would probably kind of go with Feyenoord over or Inter Milan. I think that the Feyenoord is just like they played an amazing like second leg against AC Milan, which they're probably frustrated about going back and forth against the Italian teams. And the way like Italians play is just like they sit back on a block, like in a low block, and they just like basically play on a counter and just play crazy defense. So the way to combat that is like try to score an early goal and then you kind of like break that up. So I think that Feyenoord might be able to do that. And that's my main reason why I think Italian teams don't do super well in the Champions League is because of their style of play. They something I heard the other day is like they play not to lose, where other teams play to win. So it's like they'd rather win a 1-0 than someone win a 3-2,
Yeah, and I feel like Feyenoord has had a similar scoreline, so they haven't scored a lot in like these tournaments. So it would be an interesting matchup of both teams. And it's semi-familiar ground for Feyenoord. They just played literally at San Siro against AC Milan, so I like that one.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what ends up happening, but I think that there are some good matchups. I mean, Borussia Dortmund, Lille, like, I don't know, kind of a sleeper for me. Don't really care too much about that one. PSV Arsenal is also going to be a really good game. That's the last one we haven't talked about. My pick to go far of Arsenal might end up not going very far if PSV does anything of what they did in the last couple rounds.
I know I said they're not an underdog, but yeah, I still think Arsenal will win this one.
Yeah, and then I think who do they play after that? I think they play the winner of Real Madrid or Atletico, so that'll be an interesting one. So I'm kind of betting against myself there.
I mean, I know the answer, but don't you think it would be nice if Simeone finally got a Champions League trophy?
Obviously not, just because it'd be against Real Madrid. If Real Madrid was out, then maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's like the curse of for them, right? Because they I think we've played like probably 5-6 times in the last probably 10 years, and they haven't won one. They've been knocked out every single time. It was I think twice in finals, and then a couple times in a quarter semis. So we have their number, but the scary part about that is like it's eventually going to end. So it's just like, well, like when is that going to happen? That's like the part that makes me nervous.
I just feel like for his legacy, it'd be cool for Simeone to get Atletico a title, especially when they came so close the year that Sergio Ramos had that header, and it was extra time or stoppage time?
It was in the 93rd minute. That's why he wears 93 for Monterrey.
Oh, really?
Because of the 93rd minute.
Okay.
I saw he had like a tattoo on the side of his head with 93. I'm like, man, he's really doubling down on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's I honestly, if they're ever gonna win, it's this year. Like their team is stacked. When you see their team, like Julian Alvarez, like their team is stacked. Like this is the year they could do it if they're gonna do it.
Griezmann too to get one.
Yeah, so I think if they're ever gonna do it, I think this could be the one. But I guess speaking of Simeone, like I think he's been around for so long. Obviously, he's taken Atletico from being borderline relegation zone, second division, to basically finishing top 3 every single year he's been there. But like he obviously the thing he's missing is a Champions League, right? Yeah. He's gone to the final a couple times, hasn't really been able to break that tournament. Like do you think like when do you think like time runs out for that? Like do you think they just kind of keep him around for a while, like kind of like Arsene Wenger, where he was pretty good but like didn't really like ever hit the pinnacle, right? I guess except for like the undefeated team with Thierry Henry.
Oh yeah, the Invincibles.
Yeah, the Invincibles. There you go. But what do you think about that?
I mean, it depends. Now like more and more, we're seeing managers stick around less and less time in clubs. Sometimes 1 season, 2 seasons, and you're out. But he's been pretty consistent, and from what he brought him up to where they are now, I think as long as they're still competitive, they won La Liga a few years ago, and so I think as long as he's still giving results all around, I think you can keep him. Yeah, as long as he's doing that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. I think that eventually, like, time runs out. Like they spent so much money this year, and like they have basically every player that he's ever wanted. But like you said, like, yeah, what's the alternative? I think unless there's like a juicy candidate on the market, like you're talking about like a Xabi Alonso, which never would happen, but like another candidate that really wants to come in, you think like what's the alternative maybe to that? So maybe you're like, no, I think we'll be good there.
Yeah, I guess we can revisit at the end of the season, see if they win La Liga, if they maybe make a deep run in Champions League. Are they still in Copa del Rey?
Yeah, they're actually playing Barcelona. So I think they have a crazy couple games. I think over the next 5 or 6 games, they're playing Barcelona in La Liga. Then they're playing Barcelona twice in Copa del Rey. And then they're playing Real Madrid twice. So they play us like 5 times of like the top couple teams. So that's also going to be a huge test for them in terms of the depth of the squad. And, if they're going to be able to kind of stay consistent for those 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, so they're in a pretty good spot right now. They could still win a treble. I mean, all 3 of the teams in the Champions League could. So
yeah, they're probably the worst spot though, just because they're having to play Barcelona and then Real Madrid for both competitions that they're in. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be rough. And I think at that point, it's interesting. Like, do you think that they prioritize like putting out a stronger team for one of the cups versus the other one, or you think they just kind of like keep the same team consistent the whole way?
Oof. I think it depends who you're playing, the style of play, who you can slot in that will give you a more favorable matchup. But my common sense would tell me just put the best team you have every time. But obviously, like, it's not like FIFA where they don't get tired. I guess it's EA 25 now or whatever.
Yeah, they're all over the place with that. No, I think I actually think the opposite. I think that he's going to probably put the strongest team against Real Madrid for the Champions League. One, because that's like the trophy that he doesn't have.
Okay.
And then also, I think it's just like the spite that they have like against each other. Like they really hate each other. So I think they're probably going to try the hardest against that team, I think. And I wouldn't blame him. I would probably do the same thing, you know?
So as a big Real Madrid fan, would you rather lose to Barcelona or Atletico?
Oof. Damn, that's rough. Neither, but honestly, I would probably rather lose to Atletico than Barcelona. I think Barcelona is just such a huge rivalry. But at the end of the day, as much as it would pay me if a Spanish team won the Champions League, I'd be happy about that. You know,
fair enough.
As stressful and annoying as that would be.
I figured you would say that too, because like if Barcelona went to Champions League, they're that much closer to Real Madrid. Not that they're that close, but it just gets them a little closer.
100%. Like the comparisons from Barcelona and Real Madrid are so much more like similar than if Atletico won the Champions League. You'd be like, oh my God, good, yay!
Yeah, good for them.
The kids won the Champions League. Like that's so exciting, you know. But if Barcelona wins, it's like, oh, they're coming. You know, they have 6 now. They're gonna have 15 soon. But
we could go on a run like Real Madrid did.
Yeah,
gone. It's still going. You could say.
Yeah, 5 and 10 years, right? So yeah, I think that Simeone is probably the most person under pressure to perform. I think for sure in everything.
Yeah. So good luck to them. And we've talked about teams with like really good records, but none as good as the franchise record for the team we're talking about next.
Yeah, San Diego FC, man. Like we said last episode, the only team that we know of that is undefeated in franchise history.
Yeah, 1,000% winning percentage.
Yeah, I know. So their upcoming game is what we're going to transition to here is against St. Louis City SC. And they're playing on Saturday at 7:30 at Snapdragon, first home game, which I feel like will be star-studded with. We'll probably see a Manny Machado sighting. Maybe Thames will go down. I saw that Thames was at the LA Galaxy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cool. So, we'll be there, you know, to add to the star-studdedness, of course. Yeah. So first home match ever. So we'll see how that goes. And then, so what do you know about St. Louis City?
St. Louis City FC, they started in 2023 was their first season. And I'm actually hoping San Diego FC can replicate and beat maybe some of their like records that they set. They actually won. It was a surprise too. They won the Western Conference and also had the most wins by an expansion team in the first season, winning 17 games, which is half of the games they played out of their schedule of 34. They also won their first 5 games, which is pretty cool. Like if you tell me like San Diego FC is going to win the next 5 games, I mean like wow, like talk about a way of getting a city hyped and excited.
Yeah, exactly. Especially St. Louis, right? I'm sure they have. I don't think they have. They have a hockey team. That's it. But
baseball too. The Cardinals.
Oh, baseball. Yeah, the Cardinals.
Yeah. Actually, in baseball, St. Louis Cardinal fans are known as very good fans. It's not as much anymore. Like the last few years, you've seen a decline, but it's traditionally been a very well-run organization, and people there are really, really good fans. They're like types of fans that stay in the stadium even if they're losing. They don't like dip out like if their team is down. Like they're very passionate and loyal fans. So it'd be interesting to see if we'll see like anyone with like St. Louis gear jerseys. And yeah, I'm excited to see what it's like hosting a team.
Yeah, I think it's always fun. Like I think when you go to like Padre games, you see so many fans from different places because so many people move to San Diego at some point in their life that they're from, you know, different parts of the United States. So I would not be surprised at all. Not necessarily for maybe fans traveling, but people that just like grew up in St. Louis and then moved to San Diego at some point.
Yeah, totally agree. Even at the game yesterday, I met a family that is from LA, so they're Galaxy fans, but they live in San Diego, so they're wearing San Diego gear. So when I met them and I greeted them, I was like, "Oh, San Diego FC fans." Like, "Oh, well, we're Galaxy fans, but now that we have a team in San Diego, we don't know." I was like, "Oh, come on
over to the dark side.
The water's warm."
Yeah, water's warm. Get in. Yeah, I think that'll probably happen a lot. You know, a lot of people that maybe like adopted Galaxy or adopted LAFC are now like, okay, well, San Diego's a team. Like, we're going to transition over.
Especially if they start winning. I think people just like
100%.
Yeah.
I've seen so many things on social media now because of winning that first game and how it was just so unexpected from people. I think a lot of people are going to come out.
Yeah. Did you see how we're like someone's tracking like the rankings of Instagram followers? And I think we're 27 now out of 30 teams or 32 teams of Instagram followers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, out of 30. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
I think the next one's Colorado Rapids. They're like 8,000 more than we do.
Oh, man.
Or maybe it's
light work.
Revolution.
Yeah, light work. We can get that in a couple days, right?
I think actually by the end of this next game, I think we'll beat the next team up.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think we're barely getting started. I think there's a lot of people that still don't know what San Diego or like don't know about the team, and we're still kind of new. So not kind of new. We are very new. So I think we'll still be able to join that like that. And I think there was only I saw something that said like attendance records, and there was only 4 teams that sold out their stadiums, and LA Galaxy was one of them. So
wow.
I like to think that San Diego FC had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I think so. Before we wrap up, do we want to address the San Diego FC rumor of a potential signing?
Oh, yeah. I was like, someone sent me this on Twitter that, San Diego FC are nearing an agreement with 33-year-old Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City. So what are our thoughts on that?
One, I think that would be so cool. And 2, I've heard this rumor for at least like 6 months that like, oh, Kevin De Bruyne might come to the MLS. It might be San Diego FC. I think after the loss to Liverpool over the weekend, 2-0, he was like, told his manager, agent, like, all right, tell him I'm coming.
He's like, I'm done, man.
Yeah.
This season's a wash.
Yeah, season's a wash. We're not winning the league. We're out of the Champions League. Yeah, I think I'm good. So, yeah. I hope it's true, but at the same time, I know he wants to captain Belgium in the World Cup next year. So maybe he wants to stay in Europe and play like there. But at the same time, we're hosting the World Cup, so it has like that draw for him as well. So I hope it's true.
Yeah, I think it's going to be nice for just like the PR side of things, I think, for sure. Obviously, he's a little bit slightly older player, which is sad to say for a 33-year-old. Yeah. But like slightly past his prime and his peak. So I know he doesn't really start for Manchester City anymore. But just I think it would just be so cool to have like a big name player. It would really get some butts and seats.
Yeah.
Sell a lot of jerseys, get the name out there, which is huge.
I agree. And I think it's something San Diego FC has definitely been planning for. Like, so far, we've used 2 of our designated player spots. So we have 1 left. So I'm assuming Kevin De Bruyne would slot in well for that. So, yeah, I would hope to see that happen. You mentioned the past his prime and he's getting older. I want to give a shout-out to Luka Modric over the weekend. He had an amazing goal. I forgot who it was against, but it was so nice. 39 years old, still honestly doing great.
Yeah, that was wild. He just like took it off his chest outside the box. It was like probably like 30-yard goal. But yeah, it was against Girona in the league. But yeah, that guy is just like doesn't age, man. It's like Ronaldo. They just age backwards, like Benjamin Button, man.
I know. I hope we really get to see him in the World Cup.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday about thinking of if all these players are like gonna stay around like the Ronaldos and the Messis. I'm like, I think that after this next World Cup, we're going to see like a huge wave of retirements. Like everyone's just holding out to that. And then all these players that like we grew up watching are all of a sudden going to retire like at the same time, like Messi, Ronaldo, Modric, like all these players.
Absolutely. And honestly, anyone that's still playing right now, it's fair game that they might make it for the next one. We're getting to that point.
Yeah, it's less than a year away.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, well, it's in this. Oh no, it's in December. No, it's in the summer.
It'll be in the summer. So
so it's about a year away.
Yeah, about a year away.
Yeah, we're a year away from now. So like anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
It could be easily have all these crazy players, and the last hurrah will place better than the United States.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Oh, we'll be there for sure. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then last thing before we wrap up, I just want to address Amilcar. You've been getting some heat recently from some people reaching out that you couldn't name. More than 6 cities?
Yeah, 6 cities out of the 18.
All right, so you want to take a second a second stab at it?
You're gonna put me on the spot again? Literally, we had just talked about it.
All right. Rapid fire. How many can you name in 15 seconds? Go.
All right. Let's see. Chula Vista, National City. I think I had Escondido, El Cajon, City of San Diego, San Marcos. Can't forget that one. My sister went there. Coronado, Del Mar, Carlsbad. Let's see. Encinitas. How many is that?
I'd say that's about 11 or 12, and we'll call it time right there. Hey, that's much better than last one.
Yeah, at least you can tell I was studying this time after so many people were talking smack to me about not being able to name more than six cities in San Diego.
He doesn't get out much.
Yeah, I know. I was telling him, I was like, first of all, I was under pressure. The bright lights of the podcast. Come on, it doesn't get more stressful than that. And then secondly, I've been out of San Diego for like 10 years, so give me a break.
He's been to about 4 or 5 continents, like 25 countries, but doesn't really leave Chula Vista.
I know, so sad. But I'm glad I could redeem myself a little bit at least.
All right, and that's all for today. We'll be back after San Diego FC's game against St. Louis City FC. We'll see you next week. Thank you.